Welcome to our library. Settle in, adjust your lamp, perhaps pour a fresh cup of tea or coffee, and let the world outside, with all of its noise, chaos, frantic posturing, fade quietly into the background. Today, we're going to deconstruct a myth. We live in a culture currently obsessed with the Dark Triad. You see it everywhere. Sigma grind sets, the celebration of the corporate shark, and the countless articles dealing how to spot a narcissist or outmaneuver a Machiavellian. We have been conditioned to believe that these traits, narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy, are regrettable but necessary tools of the strong. We are told that in such a dog-eat-dog world, the predator is the one who survives. Let's look closer. If we apply a truly academic and biological lens, we find that the Dark Triad isn't a sign of strength at all. It's a sign of developmental arrest. Primitive, low-resolution survival strategy. It's increasingly obsolete in our sophisticated, interconnected world. Tonight, we aren't just talking about being nice. We're talking about the Light Triad. We're going to explore why Kantianism, Humanism, and a fundamental faith in humanity are not just softer choices, but are, in fact, the superior evolutionary upgrade. Before we build the light, however, we must consider the fragility of the shadow. The Dark Triad is built on three pillars of sand. First, narcissism. A desperate, unending need for external validation because the internal self is hollow. Second, Machiavellianism. The cold, calculated manipulation of others for personal gain. And third, psychopathy. A deficit in empathy and a lack of remorse. To the untrained eye, this looks like power. But to the academic, it looks like a high-stress, low-efficiency system. Just think of the cognitive load required to be a Dark Triad individual. You must constantly track your lies, you must perpetually monitor your environment for threats, and assume everybody else is just as predatory as you are. This is why Dark Triad individuals often suffer from burnout or eventual isolation. They are biologically loud. Their systems are flooded with cortisol, stress hormone. They are in a permanent state of fight or flight, even when they sit in a boardroom. For those of us who are neurodivergent, this social dance of manipulation is particularly abhorrent and anathema to our very beings. We see the masks. We feel the friction of the inauthenticity. We often wonder why the world rewards these games. But here is the truth. Eventually, it doesn't. Not in the long term. The Dark Triad is a short-term survival strategy. It works for a moment. Maybe weeks, maybe months, maybe years. But it will fail over the course of a lifetime. In 2019, the psychologist Scott Barry Kaufman and his colleagues formalized the Light Triad. It's the direct antithesis of the darkness, and it's where true, sustainable power resides, and the topic of discussion on this channel. Let's walk through the three pillars of the Light Triad together. Firstly, we have Kantianism, named after Immanuel Kant. This is the radical idea of treating people as ends in themselves, never merely as the means to an end. It's the rejection of manipulation. When you act with Kantian integrity, your cognitive load drops to zero. You don't have to remember the script. You don't have to remember lies. You are simply yourself. This is strategically superior because it builds trust. And in any complex system, be it family, business, or society, trust is the only lubricant that reduces the cost of any transaction. The second is humanism. This is the recognition of the inherent dignity and worth of every individual. It's not just being polite, it's the biological acknowledgement that we are a social species. By valuing others, we trigger the release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. This lowers our heart rate, improves our immune function, and creates a village of support. The Dark Triad individual is an island. The Light Triad person is the architect of the continent. The third pillar of the Light Triad is faith in humanity. This is the most misunderstood pillar of the three. It is the fundamental belief that people are, at their core, good and capable of growth. It's not naivety, it's a calculated, optimistic bias. If you assume the best of people, you create an environment where the best is more likely to emerge. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy that gives you access to collaborations and opportunities that the paranoid mind is literally blind to. Why is then the Light Triad better? It's a bold claim, but it holds up under three distinct lights. Morally, it is superior because it seeks to diminish suffering rather than exploit it. It aligns with our most sophisticated ethical frameworks. Biologically, it is superior because it promotes longevity. Cooperative traits are what allowed Homo sapiens to thrive, while more solitary and aggressive hominids vanished. Our brains are literally wired to thrive in the light. But most importantly, your week ahead, it is strategically superior. Consider the neurodivergent edge here. For many of us, myself included, masking and social manipulation are exhausting and illogical. We value truth, even when it's uncomfortable. This radical authenticity is a Light Triad trait. While the Dark Triad person is busy playing 4D chess, we are simply playing the game of reality. Reality always wins in the end. The Dark Triad individual eventually runs out of people to burn. But the Light Triad individual grows their social capital every single day. Trust is the only currency that doesn't depreciate. In fact, it compounds. So, as we prepare to close the books for tonight, I want you to take a look at the days and weeks ahead. You will likely encounter dark influences. Perhaps it's a colleague who thrives on gossip, a boss who manages through fear, or even that internal voice of your own that whispers that you should be colder or tougher to get ahead. I want you to reject that primitive programming. Choose Kantianism. When you're tempted to manage someone's perception of you, try being radically honest instead. Feel the weight lift from your shoulders. Choose Humanism. Look at the person or people across from you, even the difficult ones, as human beings, being with their history as complex and diverse as your own. Most importantly, choose faith. Assume there is a path forward built on cooperation rather than competition. The Dark Triad is the path of the hunter-gatherer fighting over a scrap of meat. The Light Triad is the path of the scholar, the creator, and the leader. It is, realistically, the path of the future. I would like to thank you for spending this time with me in our library. As you move into your days and weeks ahead, remember, shadows may be loud, but the light with us is what lasts. I'll leave you now with the fire and the rain. Let them wash away the stress of past days and weeks. Get rest and reset is now complete.